Miss K here, I've got my trumpet and hope you've got yours ready as well. So we are going to work on our 5 notes today, and in fact last week we introduced note number 6, which was low B. So the B, do you remember which finger was B? It was your second finger. Okay, so B is next door to C in the alphabet, isn't it? So if you think of our low note C, B comes just before that, doesn't it? So keep your lips nice and loose. You can play C, C, C. Here we go. And then we're going to go B, B, B. Here we go. So let's do that together. 3 B's with a breath. 3 C's first. We'll start 3 C's with a breath and then 3 B's with a breath. And then we'll go back to the C's because it's good to finish on our home note. C is our home note. Okay, so C 3 times, B 3 times, C 3 times. Here we go. I'll do it twice, so if you're not sure, you can listen the first time. 1, 2, C, off we go. B, C. Okay, let's do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great, so that's warmed us up a little bit. Look at page 11 in your book. You've got the scale at the top there. So let's practice going up the scale just as it's written. C, D, E, F, G. Then we're going to come all the way down again from G down to C. So no B this time, starting on C. Let's do 3 notes on each one. In fact, why don't you copy me? So I'll play 3 notes, you copy back. Here I go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Your turn. C, C, C. Your turn. D, D, D. Me. Your turn. E, E, E. My turn. F, F, F. My turn. Your turn. G, G, G. Good. Now we're going to do each note just once going up. C, D, E, F, G. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. Now look at the other side. We're going to come down, starting from G, F, E, D, C. Here we go. Now this is where we will put B, just like we practiced a minute ago. We did 3 C's, 3 B's. 3 C's to finish, but this time we're just going to do 1 of each. So when we get to the bottom of our scale, instead of just stopping on C, we're going to go C, B, C. We don't just finish on B because it doesn't sound finished. We need to go back to our C, which is the home note. So here's the scale coming down with the B and the C at the end. Here I go. Yeah, just play those last 3 notes for me. Great. Make sure you're not too high, make sure your lips are not too tight. Okay, let's go. Now I'm going to join them together. Okay, this is slightly different to the way it's written in the book. The book goes up to G and then it does G again and comes down. We're going to join that up like a lovely big triangle going up and down, but we don't want to play 2 G's at the top, only 1 G. So it's going to go like this. C, D, E, F, G, F, E, D, C, B, C. And that's what we're aiming for, to do that scale when I see you next time, to do that scale going up and coming down nice and smooth. I'm going to play it for you now. If you think you've got it, you can join in, or you can pause the video and you can practice it. Just remember that when you, after the F, going up, after the F, skip straight to the second one, which brings you down. So you only do G once. Here we go, listening and watching me. And that's all your notes. 6 notes in a lovely smooth scale. So that's a fantastic warm-up. And don't forget, if you're finding that tricky, you can slow it down. You can do 3 on each, just like I did at the beginning of the lesson. You can go C, 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 D, 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 and that gives you time to think, doesn't it? All the way up. And when you get to G, 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 you turn straight round and go to F, F, F. I remember coming down is probably the hardest, so you need to practice coming down twice as much. Now skip down the page to the intervals. Page 11, intervals. I mentioned this last week. This is one of my favourites. I hope you've worked out how to do it. It uses all those notes from the scale, no Bs. Do you remember what the pattern is? The pattern is C, which is our home note, C, then up to D, C, E, C, F, C, G. So the interval, the distance between the notes is getting bigger each time. That's what the intervals means. Second half starts on G and works its way down. G, F, G, E, G, D, C, and finishes on our home note. So I'm going to play this for you slowly, and then I'm going to show you how it sounds with the CD if you can get the backing track, because this is one of my favourites. Okay, you can join in if you've got it, or you can pause the video and practice it, and then come back and try with me. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. As I've said, on our home note. Okay, so I am going to play the track now. The track is on your CD. If you look at the beginning of the book, is a whole list of all the tracks. You look for intervals, and it sounds like this. 1, 2, 3. Fast, so you need to practice it. While we've got the CD ready, we're going to play flowing. We're going to go back a page. This is one that you should know by now. So we're on page 9. I'm going to show you how flowing sounds when you play it with the CD. It's quite slow and smooth. So again, practice it without the CD. If you've got the backing track, then you can try it with it, and of course it'll start to sound really good. So here we go, flowing. 4 more clicks. 1, 2, 3. Flowing. Okay, now look on page 8. This is a song that we've done before. This is marching. Again, this might be a bit fast, but this is to inspire you to practice. So practice the tune without the CD, and then if you can get it up to speed, by the time I see you again, you're going to have all these tunes you can play for me. That's what I'm looking out for. So remember, this is in a marching style. Remember that when you go from G to D, you have to relax your lips as well. Otherwise, you just get G, 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 G. Listen, this is G, D. If you're not careful, this is what goes wrong. Listen. And that's what happens if you change your fingers, but don't think and change your lips. So relax a bit for the Ds. Okay, I'm going to play marching for you with the track. Listen out for the clicks. One, 2, 3, 4. If you can play some of these songs to me when I see you, I'll be well impressed. You've got marching and flowing. You've also got gliding and walking. I'm going to leave you to work those out for yourselves. At the bottom of the page, watch your step, sort them out. Also at the top of the page, don't forget, make up your own tunes using these notes. I want to hear your compositions when we come back to school. I want to hear how creative you've been. Have you written a song about the weather, the lockdown blues perhaps? What have you been doing at home? Make up something. Don't just use the book. Now let's go back and look at page 10, and I'm going to play for you the bottom tune on page 10. Page 10 uses low B, so you need to keep your lips quite relaxed, and this is the bottom tune. Let's just look at the notes first of all. Say the notes out loud with me. It starts on E, D, C, B, C, D, E, a longer one then, D, C, B, C, D, C, B. Next bit goes E, D, C, B, C, D, E, and lastly D, C, B, C, C. The last three notes are longer. They are minims, aren't they? So how many beats on a minim? 2. There are only 1, 2, 3, 4 minims in this whole piece. Can you see any patterns in this piece? Music's always about patterns. Any bits that repeat? Look at bar number 1. What's the shape of that music? Is it going up? Is it up and down? No, it's going down. So it's going down in a pattern. If you look, and the next bar goes up, doesn't it? So it goes down and up. Now can you look at bar number 1, 2, 3, 4, bar number 5 and 6? What are they doing? Are they going up? Are they going up and down? No, it's exactly the same as the beginning. It goes down and it goes back up. And then the next bit goes down again and finishes on our home note. So look for patterns in the music, because bar 1 and 2 are exactly the same as bar 5 and 6. So half the tune comes twice. So you don't have so much to learn if you found those patterns. Right, I'm going to play the first 2 bars and then you can play the first 2 bars. So we'll do this one slowly. So here's the first 2 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4. Your turn. E, D, C, B, C, D, E. Okay, pause the video if you need to and do it slowly. I'm going to play the next 2 bars now, starting on D. Here we go. 3, 4. Okay, your turn. Off you go. D, C, B, C, D, C, B. Okay, next 2 bars. We already know the next 2 bars. It's like the beginning, isn't it? Next bit, here go. 3, 4. Your turn. E, D, C, B, C, D, E. And then the last bit starts on, what does it start on? That note is D. Here we go, last bit. Don't forget those notes are longer. The duration of the notes is longer. Here's our word. Duration. Long and short notes. So the duration of the last 3 notes is longer than the rest of the tune. Here we go. Last 2 bars starting from D. 2, 3, 4. Your turn. Here we go. D, C, B, C, C. Well done. Mixing up quite a few of our notes. Not all of our notes, because there are no Fs or Gs. So actually only 4 notes in that tune. Now, if you have done most of page 8, most of page 9, now most of page 10, and quite a lot of page 11, you might want to start looking at page 12. That is the page I'm going to do next week. And the tune that we'll start with next week is the Welsh tune. So if you have a look at the Welsh tune before you get my video next week, you'll be ahead of the game. But mainly your practice, I would say, is page, loads of stuff on page 11, isn't there? Page 11, page 10, go back on page 8 and 9. And don't forget to make up your own tunes. Make up your march. Make up a march, a different march. I'll just make up a march now. I'm going to use 3 notes only. I'm going to use F, E and C. Let's see what that sounds like. I'm going to make a march using F, E and C. I'm going to start on E. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. And I finished on C, the home note. Came up with a rhythm, thought of some notes that I could play using that rhythm. So you might want to think of some words first, maybe marching along, make up some different notes with those words. You're already composing. So next week we will do 11 and 12 going onwards and using all of the notes that we can play so far. Don't forget your scale. Bye.